I'm Justin. I am here with my E46 M3. This is an 01. Today we're doing trans mounts. Powerflex. This is a recently new thing they released. Pretty simple, just two mounts, and got the hardware with the washers and the nuts. So today we're going to replace my stock ones. I already did engine mounts earlier this year, just actually under a month ago. When I was doing rod bearings, I put the Bimmerworld track mounts in, and then that is about it so far. We will have the Bimmerworld Street Track exhaust, the 3.5 inch collector one. That will be in our way, so that might be a little different than if you have a stock exhaust on here still. But today we're going to install these, and we should be all set to go. Alright, so now that we're under the car, I do have the Bimmerworld Rasp Terminator pipe here, made by MagnaFlow. Looks like I will have to take this plastic off here, this one off here, and then the mount is right here. You can already kind of see the mount's in there. If I had a light, I'd show you. But I'm going to try and leave section 1 on if I can, because it was a pain to put it on the first time, just with how tight this exhaust fits to the chassis. But I'm going to try and drop the mount a little bit and pop these mounts off and slip this out through the side if I can. So yeah, let's get that going now. Alright, so I got the mounts out. Basically just a bunch of 13s. I put a jack under the car with a piece of wood on it just to support the trans, just to keep it up there and take off some pressure. So here you can kind of see I have it reassembled here just to see what it looks like in the car. So you have your 13s here on all four corners. Same thing with the nuts on top and underneath. They're both 13s as well. This is the center brace that goes under the trans. This sits right under your drive shaft, right at the output shaft of the trans. And then here are your two mounts. So these are actually still pretty good. The car's only got 103,000 miles on it now, but these are all still pretty good. The engine mounts were a little squished and one of them had a tear in it, so it was kind of time to do those. You'll notice these have a divot here for this little piece, but compared to Powerflex ones, look pretty much like the same, just obviously a different shape. But overall, you can tell right off the bat that these Powerflex ones are way stiffer, and they are going to be a lot more fun to use. And they even included, of course, that little divot when you put these in. The way I'm going to put these in is I will put them up in the car first with this centerpiece. That way I can still rotate them freely. I'll put the nuts on top just to let them go in and hang up there, and then what I'm gonna do is put this plate and fish that in there. The way I had to do it, I tried to leave my section 1 piece on. I did leave that exhaust on there, so I might just have to fish this on, and then when I get that on there, I will kind of fish this under the car and then put this plate back on top. This side was really easy to do. The driver's side is really easy to just take all the way off and pull them out right away. But with that section 1 Rasp pipe I have, it makes it a little more difficult to get this. I'd imagine with the stock version of the exhaust too, it would probably be even more difficult, and you'll probably have to take it off just because it covers more surface area and it isn't as tucked up into the chassis as the Bimmerworld exhaust is. So let's get to putting those in, and we'll see you in a bit. Alright, new mounts are in. Like I said, 13s. It's pretty easy to do. I left this on. You can kind of see what I'm talking about here. There's enough of a gap to slide it out. That sandwich plate up top here does need to get pulled out first, because the bolts on the top, or the studs on the top of the bushing will go through that. So just, you can lift that off and slide them out. Like I said, driver's side's really easy. The passenger side kind of sucks to do, but you can, like I said, you can still do it without dropping the exhaust if you have an aftermarket one. This one sits pretty high up there, so if you have one that hangs lower, it's even better. But then again, you don't have your ground clearance. Yeah, other than that, really easy. They slide right in. I just kind of loosely fit everything and started all the nuts and bolts to get everything in place, and then went around tightening it, making sure the notches on the bushings themselves were in the correct place. You can kind of see where the top of the bolt is. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. You can kind of see the top of the nut right there that sits, like that bolt that sits on the top of the bushing, slots in where the stud slots in as well, so that's another way to line it up. But other than that, pretty good. Time to go drive it and see how it feels. Alright, car is done. I am currently out doing some errands, so now's a good time to film my reaction. Initial drive was great. Driving over here to my first stop was pretty good. The transmission itself just feels way tighter. All the shifting and everything is great. Very little interior noise. I don't know if that's just because of the exhaust I have on this car, it's so loud. But you hear a little bit of the whine in the trans in like first and second gear, but not so much once you get going. Overall, install was great. It was the easiest thing I've really ever done on a car. Just a jack and like 2 or 3 different sockets and you're good to go. And you can leave the exhaust on the car. You don't have to take it off to do these mounts. Overall, the car feels way better. It shifts a lot smoother. I did one pull earlier, which I think I have footage of, so I'll cut to that now. Just goes right into gear. It's a lot stiffer. The shifter itself doesn't move around nearly as much as it did on the stock mounts. I noticed at the track it had some issues where if I shifted mid